him, y'all. It looked like Benny spit this boy out. Tiny, you got some explaining to do. Y'all, the rumors are starting with T.I. It's coming out that King is not his.
King Harris has been shaking up headlines in ways nobody saw coming. And trust me, the mess just keeps piling on. The latest whispers, people are saying Tom might not even be King's biological father.
That day, a day in my life.
Can you imagine? One of hip-hop's most famous families suddenly wrapped in rumors about bloodlines, betrayal, and lies. It all blew up right after father and son clashed in public at an Atlanta Falcons game, and the footage was shocking. King, who's already known for his hot-headed temper, was on Instagram live wilding out, arguing with the man in the stands. But instead of chilling, he doubled down, screaming, "I stand on business," like he was trying to prove something to the whole world. But T.I. wasn't having any of it. He stepped in quick, telling his son he was embarrassing the family, and you could feel the tension snap right there in front of the crowd. The argument escalated so fast that T.I. straight up put King in a headlock in front of everybody. Can you picture that? A rap legend wrestling his own son in public like it's a pay-per-view fight. What was meant to be a lesson.
Stop talking. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. That file show.
A move to remind King who's really running the house turned into one of the most viral and humiliating moments this family's ever faced. And trust me, this was just the beginning of the chaos. Hours after that wild Falcons game moment, King jumped right back on Instagram and lit a fire under the internet. He blasted his own father with lines like, "I don't care who you are, I'm a grown man. Now if I was a mistake, say that." That raw statement had fans shook. Was this just a spoiled celebrity kid talking reckless, or was something way deeper going on behind the scenes?
Yeah, man, it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, "Hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. Yeah, come get me from my grandma."
And let's be real, this wasn't King's first time stirring chaos online. People still remember when he disrespected Waffle House employees, talking down to them like he was untouchable just because his dad was T.I. The backlash was loud, but shockingly, instead of checking his son, T.I. actually defended him, which only added fuel to the growing image of King as an entitled rich kid who thought rules didn't apply to him. Then there was the grandma incident. King went live, shouting, "Come get me from my grandma house," like he was trapped in some movie scene. Fans were left scratching their heads, wondering if he was serious or just trolling for attention.
Okay, so I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like,
Timestamp that.
not timestamp that. I feel like even now and today, like that's how it is. Like they're just tied to the hip. But now I'm grown, so it's like I can't really. But it's like they rather go places with each other. So anytime he gotta go, she gotta go. She gotta go, he go. It's just like.
But the moment that really made people sick, the homeless man controversy. King straight up offered a man $50 if he could survive eating one of those banned chips without water for 5 minutes. The man was clearly suffering, sweating, struggling, practically begging. But King laughed it off, treating someone's pain like it was reality TV entertainment. Fans dragged him all over social media for being heartless. But King, he refused to apologize. He stood tall, acting like he was way too important to admit any fault. Now, after the Falcons game meltdown, King is accusing T.Y. of abandoning him in the hood and even abusing him. But a lot of fans are calling that cap, pointing out the obvious. King grew up in a gated estate with a millionaire father, not the streets. Still, the way King tells it, his life hasn't been as perfect as it looks, and the drama just keeps getting louder. But then the so-called receipts started surfacing, and they flipped the whole story upside down. Turns out, King actually spent most of his childhood living with his grandmother in the hood, not under T.I.'s roof. That twist caught everybody off guard because even though his parents had money and fame, King wasn't raised the way most fans imagine. The crazy part? King was different from the other neighborhood kids because he had all the perks of being spoiled. Designer clothes, expensive gadgets, anything he wanted. But when it came to day-to-day life, he was right there with his grandma, not his superstar dad. King himself even admitted it. He revealed that he mostly saw T.I. when it was time to film the family's reality show, Family Hustle. Once the cameras shut off, he'd pack up and head straight back to Grandma's house. And apparently, he wasn't the only one feeling left out. Reports claim that none of T.I.'s kids actually lived with him full-time. They just popped in whenever the cameras were rolling. Even Zonique, Tiny's daughter, spilled that she mostly stayed with her grandmother too, while T.I. and Tiny were off traveling, performing, and living it up. Suddenly, fans started connecting the dots. Had T.I. been neglecting his kids behind the scenes while fronting like he had the perfect family on TV? The backlash was brutal. And then came the biggest bomb of them all. Rumors swirled that King had confided in his friends that T.I. wasn't his biological father at all. According to the whispers, that's why King explodes whenever T.I. tries to show him public love. To him, it feels fake. Because behind the scenes, their bond isn't nearly as real as the picture-perfect version fans see online. To make the whole situation even messier, pictures of a man named B. Anthony suddenly went viral, and fans couldn't ignore the striking resemblance between him and King. The internet lit up with theories, asking if Tiny ever had ties to B. Anthony, and whether he might actually be the real father behind King Harris's identity crisis. Just like that, the storyline shifted from being about a rebellious celebrity kid wilding out to whispers of family secrets, hidden truths, and a young man who might have grown up feeling like an outsider in his own home. Imagine that. Born into fame and fortune, yet stuck in the middle of uncertainty about where he truly belongs. That's the heartbreaking part. King might have had money all around him, but his upbringing, split between his grandma's hood lifestyle and the glamorous spotlight of his parents, left him scarred, confused, and searching for answers. The deeper you look into King's life, the more it feels like a chaotic reality show that nobody scripted, but everyone's watching unfold in real time. After that explosive Falcons game clash, people weren't just talking about King being a spoiled kid anymore. The whole conversation shifted into a full-blown debate about family lies, loyalty, and broken bonds. And fans? They're completely divided. On one side, people say King is exaggerating his left-in-the-hood claims just to build up his rap persona, trying to sell himself as a street-raised underdog in the industry. But on the other side, there's footage, interviews, and even family testimonies that suggest maybe King's version of events isn't all cap after all. The internet can't stop dissecting it because every new piece of this puzzle makes the Harris family drama look darker, deeper, and way more complicated than anyone thought. King really did spend most of his childhood in the hood with his grandmother, and his bond with T I seem more like a guest appearance on TV than a real, everyday father-son relationship. That alone was already enough to create tension. But once whispers started spreading that I might not even be his real father, the whole situation exploded into a full-blown scandal. King's fiery outbursts suddenly hit different, like when he lashed out at T.I. saying, "Stop making the world think you with me when you don't." At first, people thought it was just teenage rebellion gone wild. But when fans started believing there might be truth behind the rumor, those words cut way deeper. Internet detectives jumped in fast, flooding timelines with their so-called evidence. Side-by-side comparisons of King and B. Anthony started circulating everywhere, and the resemblance had people's jaws dropping. Fans were posting captions like, "Y'all telling me this ain't King's real daddy?" And the comment sections went absolutely crazy, fueling non-stop debates. But here's where it gets even wilder. Tiny, King's mom, has never once publicly addressed the connection to B. Anthony. Not a single denial, no explanation, nothing. That silence only turned the whispers into screams. If she had stepped up with a clear response, maybe the rumors would have died down. But by saying nothing, she left the door wide open for the internet to run wild with theories, and fans ran with it like it was gospel. What started as family drama on social media now looks like a scandal spiraling way out of control, and the silence around it is only making things worse. Meanwhile, King isn't exactly helping his own case with the way he carries himself in public. From belittling Waffle House workers like they were beneath him, to pulling that cruel chip challenge stunt on a homeless man, his behavior keeps making him look less like a serious young man and more like a reckless kid chasing clout. To a lot of people, it feels like King's just acting out for trends, hoping the shock factor will somehow boost his rap career. But others see something deeper, pain leaking through every move, pain from not having a stable father figure around him daily, pain from constantly trying to prove he's tough enough to survive without anyone's help. And you can almost feel that inner war boiling inside him every time he screams, "I stand on business." Like it's not just words, it's a shield he hides behind to cover up his insecurities. It's as if King is desperate for respect, not just from random strangers online, but from the one person whose approval he craves most, his father. That Atlanta Falcons game moment made it crystal clear. King shouting at the top of his lungs, T.I. stepping in, the crowd watching, and then boom, that infamous headlock. What looked to the public like discipline gone wrong turned into a meme of the week, replayed and laughed at by millions. But to King, that wasn't a lesson. That was humiliation in front of the whole world. And that's exactly why his Instagram rant afterward hit so hard. Because beneath the anger, you can see the pain of a son who feels unheard, unseen, and unloved. King basically told the world he feels like a mistake. A child only acknowledged when the cameras were rolling, not because of genuine love. That's a heavy claim, and it hits even harder when you realize he's not the only one with grievances. Zonique once admitted she mostly stayed with her grandmother too, because Tiny and Tiasi were always too busy jet-setting and building their empire. Put that together, and it paints a cold picture. Parents chasing fame and fortune, while their kids had to figure out life without steady, everyday guidance. For fans who grew up watching family hustle, this revelation stings bad. The picture-perfect family they saw on VH1 might have been more smoke and mirrors than reality, and now people feel like they were sold a lie. Folks invested years into that image, only to find out the glossy TV version was just a carefully staged performance. What really takes this drama to another level is how T.I. himself has handled things. Sometimes he jumps in to defend King, like during the infamous Waffle House incident, brushing off his son's disrespect like it was no big deal. But then, other times, he flips the script, disciplining King in front of everyone, like at that Falcons game, where the headlock turned into a viral moment. That inconsistency only makes the rift between them bigger. One minute, King feels protected. The next, he feels exposed and humiliated. And when you add in those swirling paternity rumors, suddenly every hug, every smile, every fatherly gesture from T.I. starts looking suspicious to the public. Is it real love or just more performance for the cameras? Critics are quick to say it's all fake. When King lashes out, they claim he's not just being dramatic, he's actually exposing the truth his family tries to keep hidden. That cycle of mistrust keeps spilling out online, and the whole world gets front row seats to the dysfunction. And don't think the rap community hasn't been watching closely, because they have. Instead of being judged on his bars or his talent, King's rap career has been completely overshadowed by the family chaos. People don't ask if his music is fire. They ask if he's really from the streets, if he's just another entitled rich kid, and now, if his father is even the man everyone thought it was. That kind of skepticism is heavy, and it's shaping his image before his music can even take off. Some people say this is the curse of growing up with celebrity parents. No matter what you do, the public already has a storyline written for you. But in King's case, the story is darker, heavier, and way more personal. His reputation is tangled up in whispers of betrayal, questions about absent parenting, and doubts about his very identity. That's a lot of baggage for a young artist who's just trying to carve out his own lane. Now the big question is, where does King Harris go from here? His story has blown past family drama territory. It's turned into a full-blown case study of what happens when fame, money, and broken bonds collide. On paper, King should have had the dream life: a legendary rapper father, a successful singer mother, and a last name recognized across the culture. But behind the spotlight, the cracks are showing everywhere, and the pressure is crushing. But the reality behind King's life paints a completely different picture. Growing up between two worlds, the hood with his grandma and the flashy spotlight of Taiwan and Tiny's fame, left him battling a full-on identity crisis that still spills out in public. One day, he's flexing as the proud son of a rap legend. The next, he's trying to convince everyone he's a product of the struggle, built from the streets. That contradiction has fans confused, but it also shines a light on why King lashes out so much. Deep down, he's not just wilding for attention, he's fighting to create a narrative that feels real to him, even if it doesn't match the life people think he had. And maybe that's why he's so drawn to conflict and chaos, because the drama keeps eyes on him while he's still figuring out who he really is. But here's the elephant in the room, the rumor that T.I. might not even be his biological father. Whether that's fact or fiction, it's already twisting the way people look at their relationship. Every hug, every argument, every Instagram rant, it's all filtered through a cloud of doubt now. If King truly believes T.I. isn't his real dad, then his constant rebellion suddenly looks way deeper than just immaturity. It starts to look like resentment that's been boiling for years. Resentment from a son who feels like he was left out, unloved, and now questions the very bloodline that's supposed to define him. And that, right there, is what makes the story more explosive than ever. Think about it. Growing up with the whole world telling you that T.I. is your father, while behind the scenes you feel abandoned, overlooked, or flat out neglected. That's enough to spark the kind of anger we keep seeing spill out of King. And then, when those pictures of B. Anthony started circulating, the resemblance only poured gasoline on the fire. Suddenly, fans thought they had proof. And in today's internet age, once people believe something, it spreads like wildfire. For King, that means every move he makes isn't judged like a normal, up-and-coming rapper. Instead, it's dissected like a case study in family secrets, betrayal, and unanswered questions. Every bar he spits, every live he posts, every argument he has, it all gets filtered through that messy paternity rumor and his troubled bond with T.I. That's a lot of weight for anyone to carry, let alone someone still trying to build a career in the music game. But here's the flip side. Scandal can destroy you, or it can be the exact fuel that turns you into a star. Some artists take all that pain, all those ugly headlines, and flip it into raw music that fans feel in their soul. That kind of truth connects because it's real and unpolished. And King, if he chooses to lean into the raw truth of his story, the absent father figure, the feeling of being left out, the desperate fight for respect, he could carve out a lane that nobody else can touch. The question now is, will King Harris let the scandals bury him, or will he flip the chaos into greatness? Either way, the world is watching every move. And if you want to keep up with every twist in this wild saga, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to Juicy Real, where we break down the drama nobody else dares to touch. The industry lives off authenticity, and here's the thing, even though King's path is messy, it's real. Fans today are drawn to rawness, to pain turned into power, and King has the chance to flip all his scars into music that cuts deep and hits hard. But if he keeps moving recklessly, disrespecting workers, clowning the homeless, acting out just to chase clout, his image will crash before his music even gets a fair shot. Right now, King is standing at a real crossroads. He can either become another celebrity kid remembered only for scandals and meltdowns, or he can rise from the chaos and demand respect for his actual talent. The choice is his, but time's ticking, and the world's watching every move. And let's not ignore T.I.'s role in this story either. If he truly wants to fix things with King, he's got to step up beyond TV appearances and public stunts. Because those headlocks and that discipline for the cameras only dig the wounds deeper. They don't heal, they humiliate. What King really seems to want is something way simpler. Consistency, real love, and private guidance away from the spotlight. Not just hugs for the cameras, not just tough love when millions are watching, but actual fatherhood that feels steady and safe. Whether T.I. is his biological father or not almost doesn't matter anymore. What matters is showing up as the man King can lean on instead of the figure King feels he has to fight against. Because let's keep it real, a true father-son bond is way more than just blood. It's about presence, loyalty, and love that never wavers. At the end of the day, it all comes down to presence, respect, and trust. Until that actually happens behind the scenes, the drama will keep boiling over and the headlines will keep flooding in. And fans, they're not looking away anytime soon, because this story is raw, unpredictable, and loaded with secrets nobody saw coming. The Harris family once worked overtime to present themselves as picture perfect on TV, but now the cracks are wide open for the world to see. King's future hangs in the balance. Will he rise up and become a respected artist who turns his scars into strength? Or will he end up as just another cautionary tale in hip-hop history? One thing's for sure, this is far from the last time we'll be hearing about King Harris, T.I., and the family drama that refuses to stay locked behind closed doors. Every new twist keeps the world hooked, and the stakes just keep getting higher. So what do you think? Is King's behavior pure recklessness, or is it a desperate cry for help that nobody's really listening to? Drop your thoughts below, because this conversation is only getting started. And if you want every scandal, every twist, and every truth bomb the industry doesn't want you to know, hit that subscribe button right now. Share this with your people, smash that like, and stay locked in with Juicy Real, where the realest drama lives.